I'm out here at Mount Beirstadt. Beirstadt. However you pronounce that. It's supposed to be the easiest 14er. Pretty close to Breckenridge. The parking lot to this trailhead is 11,500 feet elevation. And we're going to 14. So we're actually going to just barely touching 14,000 feet. So this will be my first official 14er, supposedly the easiest. I believe it's 3.5 miles to the summit, 3.5 back, 7 miles. This will be my first run with my new hydration bladder. I went for the Osprey 2-liter, so it's going to be 1 liter lighter than my previous Gregory brand. I'm probably going to end up trimming the straw. The straw is a little bit too big, but I got it cinched in there, so I think we'll be okay. It is very chilly up here, so I brought even more layers than I had on yesterday for the summit I did yesterday, and we'll just see how it goes. So we're looking at roughly 2,500 feet of elevation for this run. Yep, starting out at 11,500, so that air is going to be crisp. A ton of lakes out here. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully my fingers don't freeze as bad as they did yesterday. 1.25 in. My new hydration pack is so much better than the 3-liter I had before. I'll have to take it out after the run to really show you what it's all about. Look where I am. Beautiful, kind of open area. The wind is not even too bad. I stripped layers, stripped 2 of my upper layers. So anyways, my new Osprey 2-liter is just amazing. And right now I'm going through some serious meadow, but if you take a look at the trail, there's little to zero rocks. Most of the trails, the entire time I've been out here in the Rocky Mountains, have just been brutal in terms of the rocks on the trails. Like, you need to really watch your step. And look here, there's not even a rock on this. Like, I mean, I can look up and not worry that I'm gonna roll my ankle or something. So that's awesome. I'm going through some pretty thick vegetation here. It's all dead, but yeah, already 1.3 in. Almost to 1,200 elevation already. So basically, the first mile I did barely. I'm at like plus 200 feet of elevation in the last 1.3 miles. So at this point, there's a ton of forks in the trail. I'm just gonna keep going up. But that leads me to believe that the next couple miles are gonna be tons of elevation. So we'll see about that. I'm not even convinced I'm going the right way at this point, but I'm assuming I gotta go up. So, oh, the breeze actually feels amazing. And this trail, the trailhead, had a paved road, which is awesome. I mean, there were switchbacks and huge elevation to even make it this far, but yeah, pretty nice to have a paved road to the trailhead. 2 miles in, only 30 minutes, parking lot way in the distance. just crossed 13,000 feet, 52 minutes in. The trail has gotten incredibly steep over the past half mile or so. The only thing that's making this feel is we got a strong tailwind. So at times, the wind almost makes it feel like it's pushing me up the mountain. So I'm sure that wind is going to sting my face on the way down. But at least I have it behind us. So strong, but they haven't been in my face. We're starting to get to some snowy, icy conditions. 13,000 feet. Almost 3.5 miles in. Gotta be getting close to that summit now. Snow everywhere. Wind is pretty brutal up here, but all in all, hasn't been too difficult of a run slash hike. Thirteen thousand eight hundred and some change feet above sea level, and I have made it to the Mount Beirstadt ridge line. So the view from up here, incredible. And I'm gonna run this ridge line till my Garmin tells me I'm at 14K. Good little rock scramble to get to the top of this peak, and we'll see where I'm sitting from there. Sitting on the ridge line, this is still the Arapaho Wilderness. Same wilderness from yesterday, but quite a couple miles down the road. I actually took 70. I'm currently west of Idaho Springs. You can see the parking lot way down there. And this is the peak right here. My face is just about freezing off. All right. Can you see that? It says 14,076 feet. And it is a beautiful day for a summit. I'm at the highest point. Over here we have a mountain slightly taller than me, but 14K, 14 feet above sea level. The wind is atrocious. I've been walking the ridge line for a little bit, and I'm ready to take her down now. I'm telling you, that wind will knock you straight over. I'll tell you what, that wind will knock you straight over. It's so cold up here. I'm getting icicles in my straw for my water bladder. Alright guys, I'm cruising down my descent. There's a guy up there with a broken leg. That is just not something you want to see when you are thousands of feet in elevation and miles from the trailhead. And they can't send a helicopter for him. They gotta send a ground crew. I personally slipped and slid several times, not having micro spikes on my shoes, because it is icy up there. It's icy up there. And this guy's been up there for hours just freezing. I tried to give him some food and water. They said they're okay. I talked to somebody else coming up and they said that the ground crew is coming up the trail. So, yeah, that is just not something that you want to see when you are miles from the parking lot. And very challenging terrain, I might add as well. So, a lady that I just passed did tell me that the ground crew was down there about an hour ago, and I just hope for the best. Really. And it really makes you think too, that you gotta be vigilant. I'm crushing these downhills right now because it's just a nice smooth downhill. But you gotta remember, when you're out in the wilderness, you gotta be careful. Because, you know, one misstep of the foot, one slip on a rock, you know, it can happen in an instant. So it's just something you gotta be aware of when you're out here. And I'm sure that guy's okay. But I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. I'm confident that the ground crew is trained for this type of situation. I'm gonna keep on cruising down this mountain. Prayers to the man who broke his leg on the mountain.